Good morning, third graders. Today we are going to continue on with measurement. You got a really great first look at it yesterday with Miss Rubin. We will continue talking about inches, which if you remember was about as big as your finger, feet, which is 12 inches, and yards, which are 3 feet. So we will continue talking about those today. So just keep those images that Miss Rubin gave you yesterday in your head. Let's get started. All right, so like I said, we are going to talk a little bit about what Miss Rubin did yesterday, except today we are going to be answering word problems. So we kind of got to go back to that thinking of reading through the question, figuring out what are they trying to ask, thinking about how many steps is it going to take us, and the steps it'll take to get us to the answer. So again, this is just reminding us that length is how long something is. So an inch is about the size of a paper clip or the width of a quarter. Foot, 12 inches put together, the length of a clipboard, a ruler, and the yard is 3 feet put together. So about the height of a kindergarten or the width of a door. So much bigger. An inch is the smallest, a foot is in the middle, and a yard is the biggest. So let's go ahead and get started and practice. I'm going to do a couple problems with you, and then you are going to go and practice on your independent Google Slides, and I will show you where to find everything just in a minute. So let's look at the question. It says, I have 5 pencils lined up end to end. That means that they are going to be touching just like in this picture here. If you have 5 pencils at home, you could line them up if you needed to visualize what the problem is saying. Then it says each pencil is 4 inches long. So that means that one pencil is approximately 4 inches long, and we have a total of 5 pencils. So one pencil sorry, my computer's being funny. One pencil equals 4 inches. Okay, so we need to figure out how much is 5 pencils. How long are 5 pencils? We know that one is 4 inches, and how long are 5? So we could measure them if we had a ruler, or we could use what we know from the problem and multiply, because we can also think of this as 5 groups of pencils that are 4 inches long. So if one pencil is 4 inches, that's kind of like saying 1 times 4 equals 4. 2 pencils would equal 8 inches. That's the same as saying 2 times 4 equals 8. 3 pencils. Oh, sorry. 3 pencils equals 12. That's saying, oops, 12. That's saying 3 times 4 equals 12. Goodness. 4 pencils would be 16. That's the same as 4 times 4 equals 16. And 5 pencils would be 20. That's the same as saying 5 times 4 equals 20 inches. So our answer is 20 inches. We can think of this as a multiplication problem. Now let's try another one. This one is a little more complicated, has a few more steps that we need to complete, but I know you can do it. All right, so the first step is to read the question carefully. I'm going to read it and I'm going to maybe even underline some important numbers and questions and that kind of stuff. So it says a box holds 30 pencils. Each pencil is 6 inches long. So that kind of goes back to what the problem we just did. We had 5 pencils in that problem, and they were each 4 inches long. This time we have a whole box of pencils, so that's 30 pencils, and they're 6 inches long. So automatically I'm thinking, that might be multiplication again. The pencils are lined up end to end. How long is the line of pencils in inches if 3 pencils are removed before the line is measured? So I'm going to underline 30 pencils, 6 inches long. And then the question, how long? There we go. So my first step is to find out how long the 30 pencils are, because that's what it's asking first. So step number 1 is going to be 30 times 6. I know that 6 times 3 is 18, and then I'm just going to add my 0. So far I have 180 inches of pencils if I line them up end to end. But am I finished? Did I answer all the questions? No, I'm not. So I need to think of what happens next. The question is asking, how long is the line of pencils in inches if 3 pencils are removed before the line is measured? So this is 60 pencils, and I need to figure out how long 3 pencils are. So I'm going to figure out, and I know that they're each 3 inches long. So I am going to figure out how long is 3 pencils. 3 pencils times 6 inches is going to give me 18 inches of pencils. So I'm removing 3 pencils out of that 30. So an easy way to figure this out is then I know what 3 pencils is and I know what my total is. So now I need to remove 100. My problem is going to be 180 inches, subtract 18 inches. So I could either add up, start at 18 and add up to 180. I could go from 180 and subtract whatever it is that you need to do to solve your problem. Go ahead and do that now. You can pause the video. And our answer is 162 inches after the 3 pencils were removed. So I know that one was a little bit trickier and a lot of steps, but just break it down and take your time. That is all I have for you today, but if you go to your one second, if you click onto your slides, this is where you will press your practice problems. It is Thursday, April 30th, and we are on day 22, and you will answer these problems. This problem we just did together, so you guys already have one of your answers complete. go ahead and type it in here, and we know that it was 162 inches. Do not forget to complete both your reading exit ticket and your math exit ticket this week, and I will see you next week. Thanks, guys.